It is the 1 year anniversary of the Donald Trump January 6th riots in Washington, D.C. Tomorrow, we'll talk about Joe Biden's speech in which he very heavily, very strongly blames Donald Trump for what happened a year ago. If you can imagine a more brain dead, ill conceived, dangerous action than this, Donald Trump last night, on the eve of the anniversary of the Trump riots, put out a statement calling for MAGA Nation to, quote, rise up. Think about what they did last year and think about the insanity of putting out such a statement once again. Let's take a look at the Donald Trump statement that he put out yesterday. Let's see if we can get zoomed in on this so we can really take a close look at it. Statement by Donald J. Trump put out yesterday. The Biden administration's response to COVID is getting worse every day. Joe Biden said, quote, there is no federal solution to the pandemic, but he then federalized the distribution of antibodies and red states are getting the short end of the stick. That's been widely debunked, by the way. Although I agree that it was a really bad idea for Joe Biden to run on fixing COVID and then say there's no federal solution, then why'd you run on it? That was a mistake by Joe Biden. In my administration, we respected the role of governors to take care of their own states, and they could request antibodies and therapeutics depending on what they needed. That's the way our capital C country is supposed to run. Now there's talk by the Biden administration again about closing schools and even vaccine mandates for school children. Remember, this stuff is really determined at the state level. So the fact that it's being discussed as whether it makes sense is very, very different than taking power away from governors. Okay. This is an outrage, and here's the key line, and MAGA Nation should rise up and oppose this egregious federal government overreach. This is, now you might see this and say, David, to normal people, that wouldn't move them to violence. We are not dealing with normal people. We are dealing with people here in Trumpists who last year committed hundreds of crimes because Donald Trump said, let's go to the Capitol. These are people who have spent the last year terrorizing school board meetings and places where localities, local municipalities, not the federal government, local officials are discussing masking, vaccination, remote learning, all these different things. And now Donald Trump says to these people, you should rise up and oppose egregious federal government overreach. This is the exact type of weaponization of ignorance and radicalism that leads to real world violence. And Trump is doing it again on the eve of the January 6th riots, going on to say the Democrats are so incredibly mandate happy. And there is a discussion about a vaccine mandate for school kids this year in Detroit and other Democrat-run places. Our administration did what they said could not be done, vaccines in record time. Remember, that had nothing to do with Trump, based on technology under development for decades. But we never issued mandates, and I never would. People should be able to choose how they want to govern their own health. The federal government must be reined in and give people freedom to decide whether they want to be vaccinated or not. Joe Biden said he would never issue mandates, but he did it anyway, like so many other things. So, of course, that's pretty dishonest in the sense that Joe Biden has not issued just a government mandate that people must be vaccinated. He has done things in terms of employment. He has done things in terms of the Department of Transportation, et cetera. You can say it's good or bad. You can say it's moral or immoral. It is not illegal, and it is not something Joe Biden said he wouldn't do. We can debate the effectiveness of it, but it is a lie to frame it in this way. So on the eve of the January 6th riot anniversary, Donald Trump is doing exactly what he did 364 days prior, which is to tell lies about supposedly authoritarian Democrats and encourage his followers to rise up, to go there. And he's talking about rising up against the federal government. That is the exact same thing that they did on January 6th, 2021. I'm hopeful that because, listen, a lot of these Trumpists now have seen more than 700 people charged for their role last year in the riots because there's a heavy police presence in Washington, D.C. My hope is there will be no repeat, although some of them would love to do it. My hope is there will be no repeat this year And so far, as of today, that seems to be the case. I want to remind everybody, Tuesday, we will be doing the first David Pakman Show viewer chess tournament of 2022. Tuesday, January 11, 6 p.m. Eastern. All you have to do for now is join the David Pakman Show chess club at davidpakman.com/chess. You'll need a chess.com account. It's free. I'm not selling you anything other than a good time. We've got some great chess streamers who are going to be participating. Grandmaster Benjamin Feingold will be playing. International Master Eric Rosen is going to be joining us in streaming. Women's FIDE Master Anna Kramling is going to be participating in streaming. So it's going to be fun for everybody. You'll be matched up against people of your level. My level is very low, but it's still a really, really good time. So just join the club free at davidpakman.com/chess, and then we'll have more information next week. One of our sponsors is Splendid Spoon. Now, if you're like me, I love planning my meals out for the week, but sometimes I just run out of time to plan them for every single day. And Splendid Spoon makes that whole process a lot easier. They deliver fresh, delicious, plant-based meals right to your door, ready to eat. No cooking, no cleaning dishes. Saves you a lot of time. You can choose from over 50 hot and cold meal options. There's smoothies, grain and noodle bowls, soups. I'm a big soup guy. Many of you know that. I also really liked the vegan meatballs with marinara noodles. Delicious. Both I and Splendid Spoon believe eating more plant-based is a great tool for feeling good, for helping the environment. The list goes on. I'm not vegan. You all know that, I think. But Splendid Spoon is really great to just help me maximize the proportion of plants in my diet. Splendid Spoon takes all of the work out of tasty, healthy, plant-based meals. And you'll save $35 when you go to splendidspoon.com/Pakman. The link is down below.